nothing is happening on this phone when I'm calling it. So I go in, I'm looking at it, I'm trying to figure it out. At the very bottom of my contact, it says unblock caller. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me right now. This man has me blocked. But one thing that I cannot get behind, that I cannot comprehend, and the fact that you let it happen without getting onto him as well is mind-boggling to me.
When he broke that minute, I'm in the stands in tears. And people like our team understood.
Right.
I was so proud of him for getting under that 130.
So we are knee deep. We are eyeball deep in wedding planning.
Yes, we are. It's coming up soon.
It is right around the corner, and we are the.
You know what else is around the corner?
What?
The Rock on Friday Night SmackDown. Oh, sorry.
Not that.
Oh.
WrestleMania.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Don't say that. Your reign is around the corner. I'm very happy for that. That's your WrestleMania moment. And WrestleMania is around the corner, right next to your wedding.
Okay, except for WrestleMania happens every year, and my wedding happens once.
Once in a lifetime.
So that's a little ridiculous.
But we are knee deep in planning. We've been doing a lot of work.
You listen. I have a bone to pick with you.
Real good.
You listen. So this is what happened, guys. Mom and I were over at Chris's parents' house on Monday.
Yeah, I got a makeup trial done. They did my whole face, which is really super weird. It's like
way more makeup than she's ever worn in her whole life.
Do you my husband said nothing. I'm like, did he not look at me from the time he got home? We went out to dinner with some friends to the time he went to bed. Did he not look me in the face? I had freaking fake eyelashes on. He said nothing.
That is bizarre. Derek didn't notice either.
Derek did say I looked pretty.
He did, but he
didn't really.
Say something about that.
He didn't pinpoint that I had way more makeup on than normal.
I was making the dots. What's going on?
He was connecting the dots.
Oh wow.
Your father was like playing freaking baseball during football season.
He's
like
oblivious.
Nothing. I still have not said a word to him. So this will be the first time he realizes that I had my whole face done for
fake eyelashes.
And fake eyelashes on for the wedding, and he said nothing.
That is wild.
Anyway.
That's wild.
She looked beautiful, but she absolutely looked like she had a full face makeup on. Like she doesn't normally wear that much makeup. It was a difference for sure. Anyway, so it took
where much makeup you have. Yeah.
Well, I don't have any makeup on right now. I've been wearing as little makeup as possible between now and the wedding because I've been having some issues with my skin. So I'm trying to not wear a lot of makeup so that I can keep my skin as hydrated and refreshed as possible. So yeah, I don't have any makeup on right now. But so on Monday, I was not doing a makeup trial. Mom and Chris's mom, Kim, were doing a makeup trial. Well, it took a lot longer than we anticipated it taking. And Derek goes to the YMCA. He has a workout on Mondays. And so about an hour before his workout, Mom calls him and she's like, have you gotten on the bike? And what do you think? Had Derek gotten on the bike?
Mm-mm.
No, of course not. So
she's a lie. I was on the bike.
Nope. Not
the
very
first time you weren't. The second time you were on the bike, but I was telling you to get off the bike and get your lunch eaten.
Yeah. Because the second time you were on the bike and it was 15 minutes until you needed to be at your workout at the YMCA, which is not super far away. So 15 minutes was plenty of time, but he hadn't started eating lunch. So then he decides at 15 minutes until he's supposed to be at his workout that instead of just, maybe I'll eat lunch after my workout, now he's going to go eat lunch. Well, so Mom calls him, and I know that they have just talked on the phone. I'm sitting right next to her while she is speaking to him. And he's like, I'm going to get off the bike. I'm going to go eat my lunch really fast. He has 15 minutes to make and eat his lunch before he is late. And really, we need to leave within less than that much time, right? Well, then I come over.
It's stalling for time.
So then I'm headed to pick him up, and I'm hoping to not even have to come into the house because I need to pick him up. In order to get him there on time, I need to pick him up, and we need to leave. If I come in, he's going to be late. Well, of course, I'm calling him, and it is going straight to voicemail. Not a single ring. And I am 100% confident he has just spoken to Mom. And I am also 100% confident he's probably actively on his phone. And I am getting more and more mad the more and more times I get sent to voicemail. And I'm like, why is he not answering my phone call? He knows I'm on the way to pick him up. So I get here. I have to come in because he doesn't know I'm here. And what do you know? He's not even eating lunch yet. His frozen dinner is in the microwave. And it still has another 2.5 minutes. In 2 minutes, he is late to his workout. And he has another 2.5 minutes until lunch is even ready. And I immediately, he's taking his headphones off. He doesn't want to hear my story. I don't care. I'm telling it anyways. I open the microwave. I look at him. I'm like, go get your coat on. Go get your shoes, your pants. It's freaking freezing outside. You're going to have to eat lunch afterward. Like, you don't have time for this right now.
Was just totally fine with it because I wasn't that hungry anyway, so...
And then I'm like,
how can you hear with your earphones off and your
fingers in your
ears?
Yeah, whatever, you punk. Anyways, I tell him to go get his shoes on. I put his frozen meal in the fridge. I'm like, you're going to have to heat this up after. And I'm like, give me your phone. And he thinks, of course, that I'm pissed at him. So I'm taking his phone. I was like, I'm not taking your phone. Something's wrong with your phone. Give me your phone. And so he goes to his room. We're looking at our other's phones.
I get to tell you something. What happened last weekend?
So I'm holding the two phones.
They really evolved what you trying to say, Jenna.
Okay, well, let me say it. So I'm holding the two phones, and I am calling his phone from my phone, and nothing is happening on his phone. It is on. It's in his hand when I walk in the house. And I'm like, why are you not answering my phone call? And he's holding both phones, or I'm holding both phones, and I'm calling it. Nothing's happening. So I go into my contact. I'm looking around. Mind you, he called me the night before at 9:30. So it's like not even been 24 hours since we have communicated, and nothing is happening on this phone when I'm calling it. So I go in. I'm looking at him, trying to figure it out. At the very bottom of my contact, it says, unblock caller. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me right now. This man has me blocked.
I'm trying not to laugh.
I'm like,
I'm trying not to laugh right now.
I'm like, my little punk of a brother has me blocked. So I go in his room and I'm immediately recording because I am like, can't believe this. And I like am going to capture this moment of me telling him that I'm blocked.
Can I?
No, I'm not done. And this is when he thinks that I am recording because I'm about to like yell at him for not being on time and because he's not ready to go for his workout and he hasn't eaten his lunch yet. And then he immediately starts yelling at me. And he's like, don't record me right now. You get out of my room. Blah, blah. And then this drives me up a freaking wall.
I did not do that.
And I have it on video. I have it on video.
Well, you maybe have it on video. That doesn't make
it true.
I didn't post it because you were screaming at me in the video, but I have it on video.
Well, you did, and I'm glad you did not post it.
I know with him, you got to pick your battles. I know this about him. Okay, there are some things that it's just not worth it. Nope, it's still my story.
I gotta tell my story of what happened.
Okay, wait a minute.
There are some things that I totally think it is valid for you to say. It is not worth my time to fight him on this. But one thing that I cannot get behind, that I cannot comprehend, and the fact that you let it happen without getting onto him as well is mind-boggling to me.
Now it's my fault, Jake.
No. This is like kind of like a side rant.
Okay, now she's going off on me, Derek. She's going off on me.
So I go into his room. I'm recording, and I am going to tell him how he has me blocked.
I gotta explain, okay?
Just a minute.
You
I gotta damn explain.
You gotta be patient.
Just let me tell the damn story.
Let me finish my damn story, and then you can tell your damn story, okay?
Well, my story is about the black thing.
Okay, well, perfect. Then you
Just
can
wait.
elaborate in a minute. Anyways, I go into his room. I am trying to tell him that he has me blocked on his phone, and he's getting ready to go, and he has his shoes on his unmade bed.
That's gross.
Bottom of his shoes are touching his bed sheets.
I don't care.
And the number of times I have been like, Derek, that's disgusting. Don't put your shoes on your bed. And especially don't put your shoes on your bed sheets. It's one thing for it to be on the comforter. Disgusting. Don't do that. But it's a totally another ball game for them to be on the sheets where he sleeps. I'm like, that is gross. And I don't think you get onto him the same way I get onto him about it. I don't think that I think I am the lone family member that rails him about this. And I think if we were a united front, maybe it would come to an end.
Every time I see his shoes in his sheets, I say, that's disgusting. Your shoes walk everywhere like public toilets where people piss on the ground. Don't put your sheets on or your shoes on your sheet. But what are you going to do? Okay. Anyway.
So he had me blocked. Then he wouldn't even unblock me. I had to force him to unblock me, and he thought it was so annoying that I was asking him to unblock me. And I'm like, how the heck do you want me to pick you up from the YMCA when you've got me blocked and I can't call you?
Yeah.
You want to walk home? It's cold.
Yeah. And then you'd have to walk. All right, Derek.
What's your version of events? That's my story.
I think it has something to do with Peacock.
First of all, Mom, it's not about Peacock.
Oh, well, we'll talk
okay.
about Peacock. I got something to say about Peacock, too. And we got to talk about what happened at the Humane Society. That's funny. All right, keep going.
Anyway, first of all, your story
is completely factual.
No.
Point, counterpoint.
Your story wasn't all of it.
Okay, tell me your version. Why did you have
Derek
your sister
Baker
blocked?
What is
Derek?
the rest of the story?
You had me blocked. Why was I blocked? I would like to know.
Okay, now it's his time to talk.
Up?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I'll push my microphone away. I'm listening.
Good. Don't push it too far. You had the whole damn lust thing. Anyway. Last weekend, remember Philadelphia? We meet Maddie last year.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd get Maddie's phone number, and I got Maddie's phone number in my contacts list, and I saw 2 letters. Goes by J.D. And I realized that is not Maddie. That is my sister Jenna.
Okay, well, she doesn't go by J.D.
Exactly. That does not make sense. So I end up fixing it, but put the right digits. And right after that, out of nowhere, something did happen. I thought I'd like somebody else phone number, and I realized I blocked the wrong person.
Oh. Well, you know,
when did you do that?
Accidents happen.
So I got Maddie's phone number. I trying to fix it. So your digits. And I don't know where out of blue.
No way he knows my digits, by the way.
I saw it on my damn phone.
No way you know my digits. I don't believe you.
Really?
What's her
JD.
phone number?
What does that stand for?
Not me.
Initials.
Jenna Baker.
that makes no sense.
Okay.
That's a B.
You're referring to letters. So really initials, not digits. Digits is a phone number. Like 314-555-1212. Those are
letters
digits.
Is same thing.
Well, actually,
Okay.
no, but
It's that same thing.
okay. Well, regardless, even if we were just talking initials, my initials are JB. So JD makes no sense.
That's valid.
Well, you make a valid point.
I know. I got a lot of those today.
Okay.
JB or JD, whatever it is, I don't care what it is. But
Were you trying to block JD and you blocked JB? Who's JD?
Who and what does Maddie have to do with it?
I have no idea.
Hi,
Hi, Maddie, if you're here.
Hi, Maddie.
I wonder if you was he trying to block Maddie? Are you mad at Maddie? Did she make a video you didn't agree with?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm trying to get her phone number and end up the wrong letters and goes by JB.
Oh, now
Okay.
he's switching the letters.
All right. Well,
No, so yours.
the bottom line is it's not good to block your sister when she's your taxi.
Or ever, but yeah.
Right after that, I accidentally blocked my sister. Fixing it. And
Only because I forced you to.
no,
I saw the evidence.
No, that video did get posted.
I'm trying to fix it. Get it working again. The text message is good. But I knew there's something figured off. And I went back on my phone and I saw. Oh my God! Did I block my sister? I was laughing so hard. What after?
There was no laughter, by the way.
Oh, I saw the video.
I fucking laughed.
Oh!
I laughed when I saw.
You might have been laughing in your head, but you certainly weren't laughing in my car.
I laughing on Sunday.
Oh. So you knew on Sunday that you had me
I
blocked, and
knew,
yet on Monday you didn't
on
have me
Sunday,
unblocked.
And you tried to call me on Monday. Your call didn't went through because you were blocked.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. There
Speaking
was no
of-
laughing. There was a lot of yelling.
Speaking of calls not going through, Derek,
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
what happens when you bring an old phone to work instead of a new phone?
Oh yeah,
How'd you do that, bro?
because I picked up the wrong phone.
Did you have your brain turned on?
No, it was 10 a.m. snow day.
So we've had some weather in St. Louis this week. Had more snow. This is the most snow we've had in years. My God.
It's cold.
So much snow. And you went, Mom took you to work, even though it had
Mom
snowed.
took me to work. Even though snow on the ground, I picked up
You weren't paying any
my
attention.
new phone, but
Your old phone. You picked up your old phone, not your new phone.
But I realized I grabbed the old phone by mistake.
But you didn't realize until you were already left at work, correct?
And then I left it to work and inside, and I realized I did not have my new phone.
And what else did you realize?
And I realized I have the old phone.
And what was happening at work?
And at work, they were closing.
They were closing because of the weather, so I had to pick him up. But he didn't have his phone.
The functioning phone.
The functioning phone.
So what happened? How'd you get a hold of Mom?
So I used a humanitarian phone, put my phone number in there, and I ended up calling Mom.
Multiple times because I did not answer the first time because the phone number is not in my phone.
Right.
But I did finally answer
Well,
it.
good thing he had his old phone so he knew how to call you.
I know because he had at least had the phone number. Although there are people there that have my number.
They didn't kick you out and make you wait outside for Mom, did they?
They did not.
No.
It
That's
was
good.
so cold.
Oh, man, it's been brutal this week. Speaking of phone numbers and not answering them, I saw a funny video.
Well, before you get to that, my mom heard something in my room. You know what?
Okay, wait. This is related to the phone conversation, so let me do that, and then we'll talk about whatever you heard in his room. I'm scared. She doesn't look like she knows what
I
she's
don't
talking
know.
about.
Trust me.
So
She
listen,
did.
listen. So I saw a video of Kylie Kelsey, and apparently she had to defend herself because she said that her husband is not her emergency contact. But then when she defended herself, I was like, this makes a lot of sense because Jason gets so many phone calls to his phone that are not his own, like
people he
doesn't
knows.
know, random numbers, and he never answers them because he gets so many. And she said, so because if there was actually an emergency happening, my husband would not answer a random phone number, but my mother will. So if there's an emergency, my mother will answer the phone. And if she needs to call Jason, he will answer if she calls him.
Right. That makes sense.
That's kind of funny. What did you hear in Derek's room?
I have no idea.
What did you hear in your room?
Remember one of my alarms went off?
Oh, yeah. So I got home from dropping him off at the Humane Society, and I walked in the house. He had already called me. I was just putting the garage door down when he called and said, you have to come pick me up. And I'm like, I got to pee first. And I walked in the house to go to the bathroom, and his alarm was going off in his bedroom. So
you got his phone.
I got his phone.
So do you want to talk about Peacock?
No.
Okay, too bad. So Derek has a sharing problem. Let me ask you your opinion here, Jake. You don't have to like really give your input as much as I just want to know whose side you're on here.
Dang it.
So Katie calls me. You know, we all share a Peacock account, okay? You can be watching Peacock on 2 screens, right? Well, there are about 4 of us that all share the Peacock account. Mom is a recent Peacock user.
I am.
She did screw me up last night. I could not watch Peacock because Mom was watching Peacock, but I wasn't going to get upset with my mother. I'm going to let her watch the show that she wants to watch. But Katie calls me and she's like, are you watching Peacock? I'm like, yes, I am. I got to say, Peacock, my most used streaming platform. Love it. Watch most all my shows I watch are on Peacock. Love Peacock. Okay. Best streaming platform. The only reason I need anything else is because I like Hulu Live and Peacock doesn't have Live. So I do have Hulu Live too. The only reason I pay for Netflix is because Chris watches it. I don't even watch it. But Peacock, love it. Anyways, Katie calls me. She's like, are you watching Peacock? Yes, I am. She's like, oh, okay, well, I wanted to watch Traitors, but I can't because Derek's watching the Royal Rumble.
No, I thought it was WrestleMania.
Nope. The Royal Rumble, which he just watched less than a month ago. And I bet you if I had to put money on it, he's watched it since then too. So he's probably watched the Royal Rumble in its entirety. Mind you, if you're not watching on YouTube right now, Derek has his headphones completely off, his eyes closed, and he's covering his ears, okay? So Katie is like, he is watching Royal Rumble and he refuses to not watch Royal Rumble so that I can watch Traitors. And he told Katie, Royal Rumble will be over in 4 hours. It's 6:30 on a Tuesday. And he's like, it's fine. Royal Rumble will be over in 4 hours. Okay, Derek, here's the thing. The rest of us don't stay up as late as you, okay? 4 hours, Katie's in bed. She's got to go to teach the next morning. So I'm like, okay, Katie, let me call him. And I called Derek and I asked him a simple question. I said, Derek, are you kind? And he said, well, first I asked him what he was doing. And he told me he was watching Royal Rumble. And then I said, okay, Derek, are you kind? And he didn't answer. And I said, well, we talked back and forth. And I said, well, did you talk to Katie? He's like, yes, I know Katie wants to watch Peacock. And I'm like, well, you've already seen the Royal Rumble, haven't you? Yes, but I am watching it again. And I said, okay, well, how much longer do you have left? Because Katie even offered, you know, maybe instead of finishing the entire Royal Rumble, you finish the match you're watching. And when it's over, let me know. And I would like to watch Traitors. Nope. Derek said 4 hours. It'll be over in 4 hours. You can wait. So I called and I said, Derek, are you kind? And he would not answer my question. And I said, well, I think you're kind. But eventually I told him, but I do think you're making a selfish choice. And we went back and forth and we went back and forth. And, you know, Katie said that Dad refused to get involved, which really surprised me. But whatever. I was like, well, I got the power. I'll get involved. And and it's a bit unreasonable. Katie wants to watch a 1-hour show that she has not seen, that is brand new, and Derek wants to watch the Royal Rumble that happened a month ago for the 3rd time. And he didn't like my questions, and eventually he hung up on me, and he was not having this conversation. And so I did have to play the power card. And I called him back, and I said, Derek, you're making a selfish choice. You're not making a kind choice. Your sister has a reasonable request. I think you should share Peacock with her and let her watch the show she has not seen yet. And if you choose to hang up on me again, maybe I'll just change the password. And I'll send it to Katie and not you. And then he said, I am hanging up on you now. I will text Katie and I will let her watch Peacock. And he hung up on me. And then I called Katie back and I said, you should be receiving a message from my brother here shortly. And while we were on the phone, she got a message. Congratulations, you win.
Yeah, I heard all about it at the kitchen table. And Dad was his favorite.
Oh, well, that's okay.
And that doesn't happen very often.
So that's the family drama for the week.
Yeah, and I got hooked on Traders too.
Oh, great show, right?
Yeah, but I'm pissed off because Boston Rob is gone.
Oh, spoiler alert. It's okay. That happened like 2 weeks ago. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm behind.
Yeah,
still.
well.
So
You caught up fast, though.
Well, I told you I was hooked.
I knew you would be. It's Boston Rob. He's the coolest.
Oh, I love Boston Rob. God, I am a huge fan of his.
Me too. Oh, man.
And then Danielle was calling him the Godfather. I'm like, that is perfect.
He
perfect
is.
name.
He absolutely is.
I am. Well, but everybody, like, I love Wells. Gone. I love Nikki. Gone. I love Boston Rob. Gone. It's like all these people that I liked. Well, not really, because Jeremy and Tony, I'm big fans of theirs, right?
Yeah.
Gone. But
Gabby's my favorite.
Gabby
still there.
and Carolyn.
But yeah, I do enjoy watching Tom Sandoval though, because he's just he's the fool.
Yeah. Okay. So what are we going to talk about now?
So
high school.
So last week or 2 weeks ago we did talk about.
I know.
Okay.
Nia Jax will kick Jenna's ass.
Okay. Well, Jenna won't be fighting Nia Jax, so that's perfect.
I wouldn't either.
Well, she could squash you like a little bug.
She would squash.
Yeah,
Jenna
I
like
mean,
a
if
bug.
we were in the ring together, she absolutely would squash me like a bug. But there will be no circumstances where we're in the ring together, so I think we're good.
Good, perfect. It will be Nia Jax versus Jenna Baker at WrestleMania.
Okay, Derek, take a breath.
I wish, Mom.
Delulu Derek is back at it.
Lulu Derek.
Okay. Derek, we got to get through this, and we got places to be.
Can we talk about high school? We don't have to talk about our family drama anymore. I think we unpacked everything from the past 2 weeks.
I think I need a beer right now.
We've given Jake a good laugh over here, though.
Jake's been giggling the whole time.
Okay. Are we good?
We're going to talk about high school. So the transition to high school was a lot for me.
Wait. Can we talk about the IEP meeting that I sat in on?
That was helpful to have you. And, I would recommend to any family that had, older kids with opinions, which, of course, all of my children have opinions, to invite them to the IEP meeting. But
not just opinions, but like experiences.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like it was, I think you appreciated, like we talked about last week, like the only 2 IEP meetings that I sat in on were the 2 where you thought I might be able to be helpful, which was with the transition to middle school where I had been and the transition to high school where I had been. But the thing that like always sticks out to me,
there's a couple of things.
So I don't know if you know this, Derek, but so the IEP meetings is when Mom and Dad would like go talk to all your teachers and all your future teachers, and they would talk about your plans and how to help you succeed in the classroom and all that good stuff. So when you were coming in to Parkway North, I got to go to that meeting, and I did have some opinions about some teachers that I thought would be good fits for him, and I did have some opinions about some teachers I thought maybe wouldn't be quite as good of a fit. But we did have as many of the teachers in there as possible that were going to actually have you in their classroom that first semester. Your principal was one of my favorite teachers of all time. He was a teacher when I was there and got moved up to a principal. It was like his first year being a principal, right? Mm-hmm. With you as you and Manny being in his class. And that was actually a really cool experience because he had just had a daughter
with Down syndrome.
Yeah. And it was like divine intervention almost that he his daughter had just been born with Down syndrome. He got promoted to be a principal, and 2 of the students coming into his grade had Down syndrome, which was, he was very touched by that. And we would always catch up when I would come back to the high school, and he was so happy to see you grow there. But the funny thing, Derek, was, and I don't know if you remember this, but the art teacher.
To high school, Mom and I did watch a movie.
Oh, okay. Well, we can talk about that later. So the art teacher at high school, you had an art class your first semester, and Mom and I were telling the teachers and the faculty that was in the room about the fact that you have imaginary friends.
Imaginary siblings.
And we were talking about how sometimes you talk to those imaginary siblings and that it's not weird. It's just how you process things, and you process things out loud, and you like to process things out loud to your imaginary siblings. And that helps you, that makes your days easier, that makes you happy, and not to be alarmed by this behavior of yours. And after the IEP meeting, this was very thoughtful, but also very hilarious.
Funny. She's so sweet.
The art teacher came up to Mom and I, and she was somebody that I knew well too. I had her in class a couple of times. And she asked Mom and I if, when you come to her class, if she needed to set up an art station for your imaginary siblings.
That was so cute.
It's funny to counts right now.
It's the thought that counts. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was really sweet.
It was funny.
It was funny, but it was so sweet.
She was very. We did tell her no.
Yeah,
we did tell her no. That's definitely not necessary. They'll be imaginary with him, and they'll have an imaginary art class. They don't need a real class.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the transition.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was, they were always hard, right? But I think I've said this so many times, the fact that you were already there, we were already established, always made everything easier. And, Calcaterra was the principal at the time there. And she was super instrumental in helping us navigate the transition. And I had a conversation with her and said, Derek loves to swim. I would love to get Derek involved with the swim team, and she's like, sure, we'll make it work. And, sure enough, shortly after, I mentioned that to Dr. Calcaterra, I got a call from the AD, Chris, and she's like, hey, we can make this work. We've talked to the coach. Coach Prosser was phenomenal. The man has the biggest heart. He is such a great coach and such a great teacher. And he opened his arms wide, not only to Derek, but also to Manny. And Manny was a great swimmer, but I'll never forget that first practice. I wanted Derek, to be involved with something at the school. And that very first practice, I got a call.
I did school play. I did do that.
Well, that was your senior year.
Yeah, that was your senior year. So this was your freshman year. And so that very first practice, I got a call from the AD, and Chris is like, Valerie, can he swim? And I'm like, yeah, why? She's like, well, he keeps hanging onto the ropes. We're getting a little concerned. I'm like, well, he's never swum laps before. Like, that is,
that's tiring.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he did it, and the kids were incredible. Both the kids on the team and the kids from other teams. Derek was never the fastest, and that was okay. And I was very clear that I didn't want his participation to hurt the team overall if his scores were high, and they're like, no, it's fine. It doesn't matter. But by the time he swam on the swim team for 4 years, he cut his time by over a minute.
Yeah. And
that was huge. And I'll never forget that moment when he got in. I think he went from like 2:30 down to 1:30. And the other kids.
That feels fast.
No, that's right. The other kids are
1:30.
The kids are swimming these. They're swimming them in 30 seconds.
A single lap, or they're
up and back.
1:30.
Yeah.
He sure as heck ain't doing that.
He's
still.
not doing it now, but man, when he broke that minute there, I'm in the stands in tears. People like our team understood,
right?
I was so proud of him for getting under that 130 mark, and like I said, the other kids are 35 seconds, 38 seconds, but Manny could swim it in like 45, 50 seconds. I mean, he really, really was accomplished as a swimmer. But anyway, I'll never forget that. But the families were incredible. The kids were incredible. The teams were incredible. The coach was amazing. And he was included for 4 years. I think that was the most included we was the swim team, But of course, Derek did he did all the dances, and he went to the football games, and we went to the basketball games, and we were immersed in the school like, any other student. He had some incredibly kind friends in high school. Probably Megan and Maddie, the twins, were the best of friends to him and went to the dances with him. And I was never concerned for Derek and what was going on. Some of the other...
I did my first senior year prom.
Yep, you went to prom. You went to prom both years. You went
to prom more than I did.
Yeah, you went junior and senior year, and then the year after you went again and took your cousin Megan to prom. So you went to 3 proms.
Forgot about that.
Check that out. I mean, he was more I don't want to say excluded, but he was more...
He didn't take as many general education
He didn't take as many general education classes. Mrs. Robinson was his teacher, his homeroom. She was amazing. Homeroom teacher for the last 3 years. Huge fan of hers. She was so creative in how she reached these kids to accomplish the goals.
On this pop.
Oh, that would be incredible. She retired, and I kind of lost her. Like, I don't know where she is now. But she would go to different restaurants, and if they had paper menus, she would bring these menus into her classroom, and then she would do, math and reading and different things.
Actually helped me.
Derek's like, that's how I learned how to order a cheeseburger.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, he
actually helped me read a menu.
Yes.
Thanks for Miss Robinson.
Yes.
I can read a freaking menu.
I've always just, I always pretty much sit back if he says, where's the burgers?
Pizza, how good is the burgers are?
Yeah. And I'll read him some of the details if he wants me to, but that's what she would do. She would bring these menus, but then there was certain places like Global Quesadilla. Oh my God. He was so obsessed. I'm like, where is this coming from? Well, she had the menu at the school. And then there was the Flamingo Cafe. What's it called in U City? Do you remember?
I believe it's McAllister's Deli.
No, not McAllister's Deli. There's a cafe in U City that he would go on and on about. And so we took him there as well. But she would do math problems with him. She'd say, okay. And she played most of her kids were boys, just happened to be that way. And she'd be like, all right, boys, you're taking a girl out for dinner and you got $20. Like, what are you all getting off the menu? And they were doing math and they didn't even realize it. Right. She was amazing. So for the gen ed, he was pretty much in Miss Robinson's class. All of the extracurricular activities, the elective classes, he was in gen ed. The first year he had somebody who was kind of shadowing him. It was a gentleman, and I honestly can't even remember his name now. He really only worked with him for probably half the year before Derek got his bearings about where he was going in the building. And then after that, Derek was one of the students with special needs who navigated the building on his own. If he had to go to gym, he went to gym. If he wanted to go to drama, he went to drama. Went to choir, he went to choir, right? So he knew where all of those classes were, and he navigated that by himself and got from A to B in the allotted time and, all the things. Drama was huge. Mr. Little was incredible. We did do the play. And I just think all of those, it was the Addams family. And then we recently saw it at Katie's school where she teaches, which was super fun.
The play was really funny. He was a tree.
He was a tree. He was supposed to be a
still tree.
Stationary tree, but
most trees are still. Derek had a lot of wind blowing.
Yeah, it was windy that day for Derek. So
Derek was a dancing tree.
Yeah. But he was also an ancestor. And he did great, and it was so much fun. And I just think it was
he worked with the basketball team some
he
too,
did
the
he
early years,
and his sophomore year, maybe freshman too, he was like a manager for the baseball team.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, people who follow us know, like, telling Derek no, you're not going to do something is easier said than done. So he decided he wanted to play basketball because he plays basketball for Special Olympics. He's like, I'm going to play basketball. And I'm like, I really think you should be in this play, this musical. I think it would be fun. He's like, no, I'm going to play basketball. I'm like, okay, well, you can't do both. So he went out for the basketball team. And we all, I talked to the coaches.
It was fun, actually.
Talked to the AD, and
I bet he was the tallest guy on the court.
Yeah. And so I think this might have been his senior year. He kept telling me every year I wanted to go for basketball. I'm like, you can't play basketball. You can't play basketball. But, finally I'm like, fine. Okay. Go out for the basketball team. Well, he didn't make it through the week. Those kids work their butts off.
Oh.
He's like, that's work. I'll be in the play.
I didn't make it past freshman year. I was like, I ain't doing this again.
Yeah. And then he made the decision.
Yeah.
This is not for me. And it was just it's really hard to tell your kid you can't do that, even if I knew, no offense to you, Derek, your skill level was not at the same level as the other boys.
Kids, yeah.
And that you were.
I got hustle.
You do.
I got hustle, but
you ain't got that much hustle.
I never.
Stamina. How about stamina?
Stamina. He has hustle. Doesn't have stamina.
I got hustle, but you cannot touch.
Oh my God.
You can't touch this.
Wow. He's shaking his hips over here, people.
You can look, but you can't touch.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But it was, overall, it was a good experience. I think Derek very much grew from the, ninth grade student that walked in to
fearless Derek Baker.
There you go. From the ninth grade student that walked in to the senior that left. I mean, he grew.
Like Nikki Bella.
We knew.
He grew a lot. He matured a lot. He learned a lot. And our goal in education was, and maybe this is wrong, I don't know, but my goal in education was not, I didn't have the expectation that Derek was going to master Algebra 1. I just didn't, I didn't think that was something that was possible. And maybe I should have pushed the academics more. I don't know. But my goal was for Derek to become, an as independent as possible, to learn how to navigate,
adapt in a social setting,
the world, and be appropriate in all sorts of settings, and be able to deal with people again who have a higher IQ than he does.
Right.
And I think that, overall, we had a great experience through all of his schooling, and a lot of it was trial and error, right? We're just going to throw it up against the wall and see if it sticks. And most of the stuff that we tried really worked. And some of the boys specifically in the different teams that he was a part of that stepped up and just embraced him.
Yeah.
I remember Jack Farron. He's a year younger than Derek. He was the nicest young man to Derek in the baseball setting.
Mm-hmm.
He was a star player.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But he was the nicest young man to Derek, and some of the kids on the, the Nay boys, were just incredible to Derek on the swim team. There were so many kids that I could point out.
Didn't something happen with your hair once on the swim team?
Yeah. So they had do you remember?
What'd you do?
I know exactly what I did.
What'd you do?
Let me backtrack a little bit. My mom was to cut my hair.
I typically cut your hair.
You cut my hair all the time.
But.
And that week, you wanted to cut my hair.
I was going to cut your hair that week.
But I reversed it, like the swim team got my hair, and I go bald.
Yeah. So the swim team had a thing. I think it was more seniors than anything.
Yeah.
Right around districts or whatever, that they would do crazy stuff to their hair. They would cut each other's hair.
They'd shave their heads.
They didn't all shave, but some of them would get like
mohawk.
Yeah, mohawks or real short hair, not completely shaved. And I know Jordan Newman was the guy with the clippers. And Derek's like, I want to look like Coach Prosser. Well, Coach Prosser is bald. And Jordan's eyes got as big as quarters. And he looked at me. I'm like, it'll grow back. And Jordan Newman shaved Derek bald. And Jordan and Derek had gone to school together since they were in kindergarten. They were in Boy Scouts together. Nice young man. Wonderful family. But he looked at me like, oh my God, can I do this? Like, his mom's standing right there. Yeah. And you looked funny as a bald dude.
He looked so weird.
But Coach Prosser, oh my God, he lost it. He's like, Coach, I look like you. But it was all in good fun, and obviously the hair grew back. He needs a haircut now. We're going there later. But yeah, I mean, it was a great experience, and we pushed him to do, as much as he could. And I think the school and the people in it, both the administration, the teachers, the students, for the most part, were so welcoming and embracing, and we were just very, very lucky.
I do know that we had a lot of great memories. You had a lot of great memories from high school, but there were some things that were tough for you. And I think there was one situation that actually happened in the special education classroom.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, a lot of times you hear about kids with disabilities getting bullied by the general population students. And unfortunately, there was actually an incident where you were in a bit of a bullying situation, that you were on the receiving end, unfortunately, in the special education classroom.
Yeah.
How did we navigate that?
Well, I think the situation was, when Derek was a freshman, you had just left the school.
Yeah.
And you had a ton of friends who were the year younger than you.
Yeah.
So
three of my bridesmaids are a year younger than me. So they knew Derek well.
Yeah.
Because I've been friends with them for that long.
Yeah. And so he had a lot of friends in the senior class. I mean, these were kids that were hanging out at our house. They all knew Derek. He knew the quarterback of the football team, right?
Right.
And so he, as a freshman, would sit at a table with a bunch of senior girls for lunch because those were your friends.
Yeah.
And some of the kids in the special education classroom, one particular boy was a little jealous of that. And so he was not being kind. And Derek was saying things to me about not, somebody not being nice. And we talked, it evolved. And finally, I just think a conversation occurred, and there, I think the young man was enlightened. He's like, why does he get to sit with those girls? And finally, I think somebody just said, those are his sister's friends. And
they go to his house.
Yeah. Like, he's known them forever because
Sam and Addison are incredible.
And Alana was in that grade.
Lala was in there, and
my boyfriend at the time was in that grade.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's best friend was the quarterback of the football team.
Let's not forget Phil Posley.
Well, no, you didn't go to school with Phil Posley because he graduated with me.
Well, he did graduate with you, but I was with Sam, Allison, Lala, and one of your ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, there it is.
Yep, we can bleep that out.
Absolutely not.
No, that's okay. Bleeping's good. Yeah.
Don't listen to that.
Anyways, my friends, 3 of my bridesmaids, Sam and Allison and Lana, were all in that grade. They're still to this day 3 of my closest friends, and you knew them very, very well.
They were awesome. They were nice.
And they said, Derek Baker, you're sitting with us, buddy.
Yeah. And they also
said, come
said,
entertain us at lunch.
you're eating too much ketchup.
Oh yeah. They used to report back. Valerie, Derek got 2 sets of Bosco sticks at lunch today.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember there were a few times where we got texts. And I'm pretty sure Sam threatened you a couple times. If you don't put that back, I'm gonna text your mom.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
There's those eyebrows.
Hey, I got hungry.
Yeah.
You've been hungry.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I think once the kid understood that these are just friends because they're your friends, he kind of backed off a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel
Didn't
like
hold him against him so much.
I feel like I want Chick-fil-A or Starbucks for lunch today.
We'll talk.
Well,
I might have a dinner plan.
I got to tell you something, Derek. You know, we're gonna veer. Is there anything else you want to share from high school?
No, I just think
Actually, I have something to share.
Okay, me first, and then you, because mine has to do with eating. This conversation we've just embarked on. So just so you know,
Well, your
we're gonna have a pissing match again.
About food.
I just want to warn you. I'm gonna warn you about something. Can I warn you?
That's really cool.
Nope.
Mine is about bullying.
Bullying. Okay, fine. You go first.
Cyberbullying.
Oh.
Before I get to that.
Oh, me first. Okay.
You first.
Okay, so Derek, like you said, you like to eat.
I have. You're not wrong about that.
I have a feeling we talked about this once, but I'm gonna rehash it real quick. So my 30th birthday, we had a suite at the Cardinals game. They surprised me. It was very fun. And Derek,
was super fun.
There was a buffet of sorts, and they kept they kept that buffet stocked. Okay. And
Derek did his best to unstock it.
Yeah, and Derek quickly realized that nobody was paying attention to him. They were mingling. Mom was mingling. Dad was mingling. Jenna and Katie were mingling. Nobody was watching Derek. So Derek was helping himself to the buffet a bit more.
I've been eating
a lot.
Buffet, a lot.
A bit more than necessary, okay? But unfortunately for Derek,
I was saying this out loud on this podcast. My name is Derek Baker. I'm a foodaholic.
Yeah, you're definitely a foodaholic. Unfortunately for Derek Baker, my fiance,
not really foodaholic, but food, yes.
My fiance was paying attention to Derek, and on about his 5th plate, my fiance grabs me and he's like, "Jenna, I think Derek's making his 5th plate of food," and luckily for me, I hadn't eaten anything yet because I had been mingling. I was so excited to see everybody. And so I
really full. I'm pretty sure I don't need that 5th plate.
Oh,
probably not.
I know you didn't need the 5th plate. And then
the 5th plate isn't gonna work for me.
Then Chris starts saying, I've seen him have a burger. I've seen him have a hot dog. I've seen him eat some chicken tenders. I've seen him eat blah, blah, blah. And he is now making himself a pulled pork sandwich. Okay?
Shout out to Chris Jones.
Thanks for saving me.
And so I go over to Derek and I say, "Oh, thank you so much for making me a plate. That will be my pulled pork sandwich." And I grab Dad and I'm like, "Dad, Chris has just informed me that Derek just made his 5th plate of food. Like maybe we need a conversation." So Dad has a conversation. So with that being said, as we discussed, wedding weekend is quickly approaching. The night before the wedding, we do have a welcome party. There will be a buffet of food. It is not never ending.
A Cardinals game buffet.
They do not keep refilling the buffet. We have ordered the amount of food that is needed for the amount of people who have been invited, okay? Which means you, Derek Baker,
you don't have to say anything. I can let Mom give my plate.
All right.
You, Derek Baker, are to eat a serving, a meal's worth. That's it. If you eat 4 floor plates of food, we're going to run out, and she's not going to be happy with you. I'm not going to notice. I won't care. She's not going to be happy with you because she's the one paying for the food, okay? Do you understand? Mm-hmm. And just so you're aware, not only are we all paying attention...
Give me the plate. What
But
I'm gonna do is sit sit on in the head of the table.
Well, this is a different. There won't be a head table, but you can sit. But this is
Just getting my plate.
Okay, that's great. This is just so you know. We'd have discussed your title for wedding weekend is man of honor, right? And Kyle has been assigned with the task of being your. Actually, what I put in my packet, I'm making a packet of all the wedding information you could possibly need to know, so that people know what to do and where to be and when to find what, right? Kyle's number is listed in there in case somebody needs to find you day of, because Kyle is to be with you at all times. And Kyle's title is listed in my packet as man of honor sidekick. That's you. He's with you. And I have...
My name is Derek Baker. I have no sidekick.
Oh, wedding weekend, you got a sidekick. Okay.
No
like Fit Better says, he doesn't need a sidekick. I don't need one either.
If you don't like the word sidekick, I can change it to handler.
Or wrangler.
We can work on the word sidekick, but regardless, he's with you for sure.
But I don't mind to have Kyle with me to help me with food. That's fine. But the rest of the night, I'm gonna have fun by myself.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, that's fine. So just so you know, Kyle has been informed that his duties begin Friday night. And his first job is to make sure. I did say duty. His first job is to make sure that you don't eat too much at the welcome party.
Right.
Oh my goodness. And then it was funny because we were talking about it with Chris's mom as we're discussing this plan, and she's like, "Well, what on the menu is Derek like gonna really like?" And I'm like, "All of it."
No. I said buffet.
Yeah. And
I
said all of it, and she said buffet, and we're like,
"What's his favorite thing on the menu?" That's what she said.
Oh yeah. And I said everything,
and I said buffet.
Yeah. So we're watching you. We know your tricks, and you're being watched. All right, wrap it up. What's the last thing you have to share? We got to get going. I'm hungry.
We got to be somewhere at 2:00.
That's in an hour.
I'm not afraid of you.
Well, we've established that, and vice versa.
I'm not afraid of all of you.
Okay, what do you have to say? You had something else to say, so
you
let's
said
say it and wrap it up.
About
bullying.
You're not afraid of us. Whatever.
Nobody cares if you're afraid of us. It doesn't matter.
You shouldn't be afraid of us.
I know you're not afraid of me.
I'm
You
not
had me
afraid of
blocked 5 days ago.
And I can do it again.
But he did get off Peacock when I told him to. I'll just say that.
What do you want to say about cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying.
Let's talk about bullying. Cyberbullying.
Mm-hmm.
I have lunch with my good friend named.
Okay.
We have lunch together. Jenna and I have lunch together like every single period we are in. Like,
oh, was this in high school?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And
maybe we don't need to share her name, by the way.
Just say my friend.
Your friend.
Was getting bullied online.
Really?
Oh, that's sad.
During text messages, and as she showed me the text messages,
and she was upset.
She was pretty upset about that. And she almost started to cry.
And you gave her really good advice, didn't you? I think I know where this is going.
So I told my friend.
Oh,
we're not supposed to say her name.
Don't say her name. Just say my friend.
Go eat somewhere else, and I decided to put my friend in Mrs. Robinson's classroom, and she just decided to eat in Miss Robinson's classroom. And I told Miss Robinson what's going on about cyberbullying. It's not okay to do something like that. And I told I told the teacher, and that teacher was Miss Robinson. She's the queen. Love her for that. I told her what's going on with the cyberbullying, and my friends getting bullied online wasn't okay. And after that, I went back to the lunchroom and finished my lunch, and I told one of my friends, "Are you gonna be okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be okay." And then I'm go back to the table to finish my lunch.
So your friend showed you something that she was receiving. She was being bullied.
Yeah.
And she was visibly upset.
Very upset.
So you took her somewhere so that she could eat privately to try and calm down her emotions.
Yeah.
And you told a teacher that she's not being treated right.
Normally she
eats with you.
It was me, and also if it was getting bullied like that, she ended up going to the girls' restroom and ended up starting to cry into the girls' restroom. So I was getting very worried for my friend.
You're a sweet boy.
You are sweet. And that was very big of you to make sure to take care of her, to bring a teacher into it, to tell a responsible adult. That was a great move.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
And thanks for Disney Channel.
Oh, that's where you saw that good behavior? That's where you learned it?
Because
good example?
They got very good disciple.
Yeah.
Like Choose Kindness.
Choose Kindness.
That pops on every single commercial when I watch Disney Channel all the time.
Right.
And I saw this commercial, Choose Kindness, like getting bullied on the bus, like getting bullied in school, cyberbullying. It's not okay.
It is not okay.
It's not okay to do such a thing.
Well, I'm proud of you. But we do have to wrap up this conversation.
So, also WWE, they were talking about cyberbullying too. So, I think I will wrap this up, okay?
Okay.
Guys, school will be back in session in 3 more weeks. I just want to say, just choose kindness, be the star, do not be a bully, do not be a cyber bully anywhere like Snapchat or text messages, Instagram, any like that. Choose kindness, be the star, be the champ, and don't get bullied. We do not like that at all. Just choose kindness and be the star like you are.
All right. Thank you. Okay, well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for letting us unpack that family drama there at the beginning. We need to get that out apparently. So
she's being bullied to me.
Oh my God. Well, you're the one that blocked me. Find us on all the
situation about the block.
Find us on all the platforms at Baker Banter. Make sure you are checking out our podcasts and the vlogs every other week on YouTube. Find Derek on Snapchat at Baker Banter, and check out our merch on bakerbanter.com.
I will post SmackDown pretty soon, so get ready for that.
And we will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.
Peace.